Hello my dear students, in this video you are going to learn analysis of algorithm. So in this video I'll just give introduction of analysis of algorithm, and in next video we will see how we can analyze algorithms by using time complexity and space complexity. So let's start with what is algorithm, then we'll see what is analysis, then we'll see what do you mean by analysis of algorithm, why it is required, and how we can do analysis of algorithm. Okay, so let's see first of all what is an algorithm. So if you want to perform any particular task, what you need to do, you need to write down the different instructions, or you need to write down different rules, or you need to write down different steps for performing that particular task. That we can say as a algorithm. So sequentially you need to mention the different steps for performing that task. For example, if you want to perform addition of two numbers, okay, so what you require, you first of all require that value of that two numbers, and after performing addition of that two numbers you need to store that value in another variables. So you require that three variables. So firstly you need to declare that variable, then you need to define values of that variable, and after defining value of that variable you need to add that two values and store that two values into the another variable, and at the last you need to just display the result of that two after performing addition of two variables. So that are the different steps for performing which task, for addition of a two numbers. So let's see how we can write down the algorithm for same example. See, if you want to perform addition of two numbers, okay, and we are performing this addition of two numbers and storing that addition into the another number. So always we need to write down step like this with the help with the start symbol, okay, and after that first what you require for addition of two numbers, you require two numbers. Suppose that numbers are 10, 20. But while programming you require some variables to store these numbers. Suppose that numbers are A and B. Okay, these are the variables where we are storing this value. Okay, and after performing addition of this two, we require another variable to store addition of this two. Okay, so addition of this two is 30. So in C we are storing addition of these two variables. So first of all what we need to do, we need to declare these variables which you require for performing addition of two numbers. Okay, so we need to declare variable. Okay, which variables we need to declare? These three variables A, B, C. Okay, so now we have declared variable. Now what we required? We required values of that variables. Okay, so we need to define value of A and B. Okay, so we can initialize value here for A and B, that is 10, 20 in this example. Okay, and then what we need to do, we need to perform addition of these two and store in another variable. So we can do like we can write like this: A plus B, that we are storing here in C variable. This is assignment operator. Okay, this value will assign to C. So we are storing, for this example we are storing 10 plus 20 in C, means in C 30 will be there. So after that we need to display result. So where we are storing result, that is in C. So after this we need to display C. Okay, and in this way we can perform addition of two numbers. So here just we need to write down end. This is start and this is end, and in between that you need to write down the instructions, okay, which we require for performing any specific task. So in this example, we are performing this task, addition of two numbers. So performing addition of two numbers, whatever the steps, rules or instructions you require, that you need to write down in here as an algorithm. Okay, so we can define algorithm as a set of rules, instructions, steps that you required for performing any specific task. Okay, now what do you mean by analysis? Studying and examining something in detail, okay, that we can say as a analysis. If you want to study something, okay, if you want to examine, find out the features of something, in that case we can use this analysis. So what do I mean by analysis of algorithm? Okay, so here is written, process of finding the computational complexity of any algorithm, that we can say as analysis of algorithm. So for performing any particular task, there may be different algorithms, there may be a different ways. Okay, from that all ways, from that different algorithm, which one is the best, that we need to find out, and for that purpose we require this analysis of algorithm. So here as defined, we need to find out the computational complexity of algorithm in analysis of algorithm. So what in the computational complexity, we are going to consider time required to execute all these instructions in the algorithm. Second thing that we will consider, that is space required for this algorithm. Okay, and last thing that you can consider, resources required for this algorithm. In the resources we can say processors, compilers required for execution of this instructions. Okay, so if you are considering time for analyzing the algorithm, that we can say as a time complexity. If you consider the space, then that we can consider as a space complexity. Okay, so by using time and space complexity, we can easily analyze a particular algorithm and find out the best algorithm among other algorithms. Okay, so let's see what is time complexity. Okay, time complexity we can say as a amount of time taken by algorithm to perform any specific task. For performing this task, addition of two numbers, okay, total time required, okay, that if you consider, then that we can say as a time complexity. Actually, for we can consider number of times a particular instruction set is executed, because this total time is depends upon which type of processors we are using, which compilers we are using. That's why while calculating the time complexity of algorithm, we are considering number of times a particular instruction will execute for performing a task. For this example, how many times this instruction will execute? How many times this instruction will execute? Okay, and we will take addition of all that count and we will calculate the time complexity. Okay, so now space complexity. Okay, the space complexity is amount of memory needed to perform a specific task. Okay, so how much memory you require for performing any task, that we are considering in the space complexity. Actually, we are considering total memory space required by the program for its execution. If you are considering this particular example, then how many variables are there in this example? 3 variables, A, B, C. So for 3 variables, how much memory space is required to store, that we are considering this for calculating time complexity, space complexity. Okay, so these are the integer values. Okay, so to store integer value in the computer memory, we require 4 bytes. Okay, so how many bytes we require to store these three variables? 4 into 3, that is 12 bytes you required to store these variables into the memory. So we are considering these things, okay, for calculating space complexity. So this is regarding time and space complexity. So this is for this lecture. In the next lecture, we'll see in detail how we can calculate the time complexity and space complexity with the help of examples. If you like my video, please like, share and subscribe my video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.